Buff Nation, what's going on? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. I am back with my little series requested by ScoBuffs22 Matt H. Talking about Dave, can you just do a simple breakdown of what these guys were rated at certain position groups this past year, how that compares out to our team last year? And got some positive news. Again, guys, this isn't a perfect exercise because guys are coming up from different levels, whatnot, but I think that this validates to some extent some things that I've been saying about how I feel the offensive line is improved, how I feel like it's going to perform, and also kind of shedding light on still some possible serious areas of growth, rather. So, y'all be sure to smash that like. Let me know who your starting offensive line is right now, and let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, guys? So, before I show you what the differences were, what we've improved, what we've moved back on, possibly. Just wanted to show you kind of how I broke this down. Apologies, this is all kind of copy pasted in a Word document right now, but took all of our offensive linemen that we brought in, wanted to take their pass blocking grade as well as their run blocking grade. So you added Phillip Houston in here. You guys might be you might also be wondering, hey, who's that Jackson State? Well, that is Tyler Brown. I decided to add him in since he wasn't eligible for that dumb reason to play for us last year. I You kind of have to view him as a transfer coming in terms of the potential for him to help improve the unit, right? And I think a lot of people, surprisingly, are a little wrong. You know, not only myself, DMVR, a handful of other guys talking about this, did not have Tyler Brown in their way too early predictive uh, offensive line starting positions at the beginning of the year. And right now, he seems to be ahead of probably the top guy I thought we brought in, which was Tyler Johnson. So that's interesting. I know that some of y'all were teasing me about that the other day in the comments. So I just thought I would throw that out there too. I thought that was pretty funny. But anyways, here is kind of where we've ranked, and I wanted you guys to see from an individual standpoint, just like where CU has been at in terms of the run blocking grades. A lot really at the tackle position in the 50s, 60s. Pass blocking was not great, but as you can see, Savion Washington was definitely a step better than anybody else at that tackle position last year. Van Wells, I thought, had a pretty good year, pretty decent year, but again, when you got really, really, really below average guard play, that's not going to help at all. But still was fine in pass protection. Where we ranked overall in run blocking was actually 80th in the country, and we ranked 66th in the country in pass blocking. So this was pretty interesting to me to look at. I thought that we would be a little bit lower on the run blocking, but it is what it is, okay? Round teams like Air Force, Louisiana Monroe, UTSA, and Central Michigan. So surely we got nowhere to go but up, right? And I think, again, I'll show you the grades right here. You can see that with the guys that we've brought in, Phillip Houston, Tyler Brown, Kahlil Benson, Justin Mayers, Tyler Johnson, Wyatt Hummel, Ethan Boyd, Yakiri Walker, like all these guys as a whole, they are proficient in the run blocking game. They graded out, I think I had to round it up by like 0.02 points, but it was like a 0.99 or something like that. 64.99, 65 grade. That's an increase, guys, of like 6.3 points, which is phenomenal. That is substantial. And that goes to support what I feel like we've been saying all this offseason was that, hey, we might not be the best pass blocking unit, but if we can run the ball more effectively, more efficiently, the pass blocking, it's going to be better. It's going to take care of itself. And I think, again, with Ethan Boyd and Kahlil Benson both heavily struggling in pass protection last year from a grade standpoint, again, 42.4 and 43.3 respectively, that's kind of what brought this pass blocking grade down, I feel like. But overall, I think we're going to get much better pass blocking from the guard position as well. And I think, again, running the ball, we're going to see basically, I see this as a wash. Like, I don't know if we've brought in uh, substantially better pass blockers from like the top down, but I think our top players, part of that starting unit, we're going to see them be better pass blockers than we saw last year. And they're also going to know their assignments, right? They're also going to know their assignments. So this actually did turn out to be a decrease in point 06 rather, because you got 64.8 and 65.4 if I could do some math right. So that's basically a little bit of a wash. And I think if you combine that again with a new offensive line coach that was a pro, that comes from Ole Miss, that comes from Oklahoma, you combine that with Pat Shurmur, again, guys, a lot of pros are here that are competent. I'm hopeful and I am encouraged. I feel like Phil Loadholt is a competent offensive line coach. I feel like Pat Shurmur is a competent offensive coordinator. We're not going to see the craziness, just the disastrousness when it came to some of the game planning and strategy with Bill O'Boyle and Sean Lewis no longer here. I really do believe that that's an addition by subtraction. And I think this whole exercise goes on to show that I think we will see a better offensive line performance this year. Now, I will say this doesn't equate or this doesn't factor in somebody like Jordan Seaton coming in as a true freshman and starting. We don't really know what's going to happen there. I think we have our ideas, but we don't have any data. Let me just say that. We don't have any data to go off of other than the fact that he's a very highly rated guy, but he'll have his ups and downs. Same with Hank Zielinskis. I mean, we saw a little bit from him last year, had a much better game against Utah than Colorado State. Him and Kareem Harden might have been the only two offensive linemen to get better throughout the year. Kareem Harden was really our only guy from the guard position last year that was a menace there inside. You see that 72.3 run block grade was by far the highest on the team of the guys that got on the field, more so by almost 8 points. If you look at Hank Zielinskis or or Van Wells or Savion Washington, I thought that was pretty interesting, right? So I am hopeful that we can get some Van Wells type level of play from Hank Zielinskis, and it might even be better again when you have 325-pound guards right beside you that are a substantial upgrade over the worst guards in college football last year, big time college football. So I thought that this was a pretty interesting exercise. I do think we're going to be much better at running the ball this year, guys. That's really what it comes down to. And when you got a better run game, when you're mixing up the cadence, the snap counts, all of that, the defensive lines and the edge rushers, they're not just going to be able to time the snap and tee off, get a fast jump on our offensive line and be sacking Shador, right? We're not going to have that happen this year. We're going to mix up our snap counts more. I imagine we're going to mix up cadences a little bit more. We're going to game plan more effectively to get the ball out of Shador's hands. And again, I do think some of this equation, just as it is for all quarterbacks, some of this also comes down to Shador's ability to help the offensive line. How do you help the offensive line? It's not holding on to the ball. Not holding on to the ball. The best quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes, he led the NFL or was last in the NFL in average yards per target or per throw, air yards per throw. Let me get it right. Very interesting, right? Patrick Mahomes has all these highlight plays, right? But you know what he does more often than not? He's dink and dunk. He's killing guys quickly in the screen game, in the flats, over the middle on these slants. That's what we need from Shador. We've seen flashes of it last year, and hopefully this offensive line earns his trust to where he's able to do that, get rid of the ball quickly and on time, and we can see this offense really, really come together and feel like a really good one, hopefully one of the best offenses in the Big 12, if not college football, right? So y'all let me know your thoughts on this. Appreciate you guys. As always, smash that like and subscribe on the way out as you leave a comment. And as always, y'all, go Buffs.